Hey thinkers, today we're going to talk about the importance of prioritization and scheduling and talk about the value of a workflow planner. So if you struggle with being productive or with your time management, then perhaps this video will help you. The first thing that you need to do is go ahead and download the workflow planner that we have available to you in the link in the description below. A workflow planner is something that will always keep you aware of what your tasks for any given day or any given week are. So when we talk about things like prioritization and scheduling, a workflow planner helps to keep your priorities in line and then allows you to keep a simple schedule for what you're going to do day by day within each week. So what is the importance of prioritization? Well, you have a list of priorities, but let's say your list of priorities are school, family, work, social life, maybe going to church or other types of social activities, whatever it might be. Your actions, the amount of time that you actually spend, is always going to reflect what your actual priorities are. So you may give lip service to, school is a top priority for me. But if you're spending very little time outside of class, actually investing in the process of your education and developing your skills that are going to allow you to be successful, then your actions actually don't reflect what you have set as a top priority. Your actions will always dictate what is your genuine priority. So if you spend hours a day on your phone or some other tech device that is actually unproductive use of your time, then you're actually kind of moving that up the priority list, and you have established that through your actions as something that is more important than spending time on your school. So what I want to do right now is actually walk you through the workflow planner that we've made available to you so that you can better understand how to best use this particular resource. So again, come over my shoulder and let me show you this on the computer. When you click on the link in the description, it's going to bring you to this Google Sheet. And if you don't have a Google account, I would highly recommend that you set one up. But if you don't, you really only have a couple options here, and that is print it out and manually use this sheet, or come over here to File and then download as one of these options here. If you do have a Google account, then my recommendation is that once you download this, that you come up here and make a copy, because the way that I have this established is that you're not actually able to make any edits unless you make a copy of it. So this also sets you up for the habit of coming to this planner and then making a copy for each week that you use this. So you'll see here that I have a few instructions, but I also have a recommendation here, and that is I don't recommend that you work 7 days a week. And part of what this planner will allow for is for you to be able to manage your time well enough to where you shouldn't have to work more than 5 or 6 days a week. I really believe that you need that 7th day, whether it's a Sunday or not, but you need that 7th day to recharge your battery, relax, have fun, hang out with friends, family, whatever it may be. So I've set this sheet up to be really simple. If you look over here in the left column, list out all of the weekly tasks that you have, whether it's school, work, social, whatever it is, list them all out. And then what you'll end up doing is assigning them to each of the days that you have established for when you're going to be working. And then down here at the bottom, I've actually set up just a simple note-taking sheet that for each of the tasks that you establish on each of the days, you can just take some notes and kind of build out more specifics as to what you want to do. So I've actually made a copy of this sheet and already pre-populated some things, and this definitely isn't going to be a comprehensive list for many people, but it's just a way of using this as an example. So let's say I have psychology, English, history, and math that I'm currently taking in this semester. But I'm also working 20 hours a week part-time, and then I put down here social events. And if there's more, then I would add more to this list over here. And you see that I haven't filled out everything, but I've just started with Mondays. So because I've put down here that reading chapter 5 in my history class is due Tuesday, then I need to make sure that I do this work before Tuesday. And in all likelihood, I probably would have done some reading, let's say the prior Saturday, but let's just say I loaded it all on Monday. So let's look at what I have down here for Monday. I'm the type of person who doesn't like to spend more than 2 or 3 hours on any one assignment or class. So let's say that I think reading the chapter of 40 pages is going to take me about 2 or 3 hours to read it thoroughly. That would probably be the first thing that I would do on this particular day. And then if I have time before I go to work on that day, then I'm going to go ahead and work on what is due on Thursday a little bit and just think of some ideas for this particular assignment and write those down. And I like to use the technique of mind mapping, which I'm actually going to be discussing in next week's video. So be on the lookout for that if you do not know what mind mapping is. And then you see here that before I go to bed, at some point in the night after work, I'm going to actually go back and reread the things that I've read in the history chapter, but I'm going to do it quickly. I'm going to skim it, and then I'm going to highlight some of the things that I feel are important that I want to be listening for whenever I go to class on Tuesday. And then if you'll go down here to the second page, you'll see that I've just made one note for Monday, and that is for history. Challenge yourself to hyper-focus for one section of reading at a time. Remove distractions and dial in. I know I have a capacity for getting distracted, and many students do, and so I set a challenge to remove as many distractions as possible and then hyper-focus my time on one section. So I'm not trying to read all 40 pages in one sitting, but let's say one section is 5 to 7 pages. I'm going to read that, and then I'm probably going to take a short break, and then I'm going to come back to it. So the way that I would approach this each week is I would take each of these tasks and I would assign them to each day. And if I want to build this out more, I might say, how much time? Let's say I needed, that 2 to 3 hours for this, and then I needed about 45 minutes for this. Now I get a good picture as to, how much time I actually need or am spending on a daily basis. I might have certain days, like maybe if I work on Monday, I'm not going to be working on Tuesday, so I can actually spend more time on certain classes on Tuesday. So if I've set a goal for studying somewhere between 3 to 5 or maybe even 6 hours a day, then this really allows me to be able to prioritize each of my tasks according to when they're due and their level of importance. And then also if you see here, if there's something that I struggle with, if I struggle in math and I need to spend more time in the math lab, so math might get more attention this week than say this English assignment is going to get. So whatever your balance is, this is simply going to help you get it all down, get a good picture as to what needs to be done each week, and then if you want, just come down here and fill in some specifics for each of these, because there's not a lot of room here on this particular table. So my recommendation is that you use this sheet or something like this and really get into the habit of establishing your weekly tasks. And this may be something that you do on your day off. So somebody like me, which I tend to take Sundays off, at the end of the night on Sunday, I might go through and just think about all the things that I need to do. Or maybe this is the first thing that I do on Monday morning. Whatever time of the week that you end up doing this, it doesn't really matter. In fact, this may be a running list. You may add to this throughout the week, or you may amend it, or you may subtract it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're using something that keeps you accountable and that keeps you organized day in and day out every week. Okay, so I would encourage you to take the workflow planner that we provided and start filling it out. think about what your priority list is and start putting your priorities there, and then start thinking about those tasks that need to get done this week. And then we do have the days established for you, so then put those items into the days that you think are going to be best for you as far as completing those tasks. Whatever tasks that you don't complete at the end of the week, make a note of that, and maybe even make a note as to the reason why you didn't complete the task, and then make sure that those stay on the workflow planner for the next week. The next thing that I would encourage you to do if you want to take this a step further is take all the items that you've put on your list day by day and then put those in your calendar. I happen to just use the Google Calendar that I have on my phone and on my desktop and laptop, but feel free to use any kind of calendar that you want, even a paper calendar if you want, if that's something that you like to do. But it just gives you that added resource for holding you accountable and just keeping things as close to your eyes, in sight, as you possibly can. I hope this was helpful. Learn, develop, grow. That's what we're all about at Think It Clear. I'm Dr. Jason Wright, and if you like this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to our channels, and then also share the video if you know somebody else who really struggles with setting their priorities, keeping their priorities in line, and then managing their time. Well, hope to see you next time.